Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Great Resignation. Today we are, this past week we've been looking at the 11 forgotten laws that Bob Proctor talks about. These are laws. They're kind of more like laws of nature than they are laws like you need to stop at the stoplight, right? They're the kinds of laws around how we think about things and how we approach things and how we have our businesses be successful. And we're doing it in the context of the Great Resignation, just as another filter for you to be able to look at when you're ready to jump. These are the things to be thinking about. These are the conversations to be having with yourself or with your family to make sure that you're ready for the jump, whether the jump is to another company or the jump is to start your own business or to retire. One of the things that we've been noticing with the whole conversation about the Great Resignation is that we could also call it the Great Reevaluation or the Great Reassessment. It isn't necessarily that everyone's just quitting their jobs. More often, we're finding that people are kind of looking at the jobs that they have, the careers that they've built, or maybe you're new in your career and you're not quite sure what it is that you want to do, but you feel like maybe you shouldn't be leaving the job yet. Or maybe you haven't been able to give your new business the amount of time that it needs for it to turn the corner to be successful. And so you might be reevaluating whether or not this is the path forward that you had been dreaming about in the past, because quite often we often will have really big dreams, and then we go to that company or we go to that job or we go and start our business and we find that maybe it isn't exactly what we had expected it to be. So this particular law today, the conversation in the Great Resignation and the law we're going to be talking about today is one that is probably one of the most important and the most difficult laws. I know it's a real struggle for me, and it's called the law of sacrifice. Now, I hate the word sacrifice. So right away, you can tell I'm going to have some resistance to the law. And yesterday we talked about the law of non-resistance, that you shouldn't resist it. But the law of sacrifice is really an interesting law. Now, basically what the law of sacrifice means, you have to let go of something at one level to achieve something at a higher level. If all of your time is focused on little nitty gritty kinds of things, you can't think bigger or go after bigger things. If you're focused on keeping your house clean when you're working from home, you're not going to get the productivity that you need at your job, right? If you're focused on looking for, if you're focused on clients that barely cover your expenses, you have to let go of the lower paying clients in order to get the higher paying clients. You have to be able to let go of something, right? Let go of it, sacrifice it, give it off to the universe, to someone who is better equipped or who really wants to work with that particular client. Or perhaps you have some clients that are they're paying you well, but emotionally or physically, they are leaving you ragged, that they don't give you the joy. You're not moving forward in the way that you expected, or the problems that they're dealing with maybe go against your values, that you really don't want to support the kind of work that they're trying to accomplish. You need to let go of those kinds of customers. You have to sacrifice the revenue in order to open up the space for the kind of clients that you really want. So sacrificing, it sounds to me, almost sounds like, the people who sacrifice are always the ones who achieve great things in life. And the word sacrifice brings up a lot of religious connotations, which often mean, to me, sacrifice, the first thing that comes is burning at the stake, Joan of Arc, right? Or Jesus on the cross, sacrifice. But in this context, I don't think it means that. I think it really means letting go of something in order to have the next big thing. Now, the other piece of it, and this is the part that I struggle with really, is sacrificing something that I want now for a new future? Like, how do I postpone something now so that I can have the future that I want? You know, when I look at my to-do list, the level of details and all of the things that I'm working on here for Shimula, right? We're developing some podcasts. We're doing the Great Resignation. We have a lot of students, participants in our courses that, you know, we love providing all of the attention to. And as we think about where are we headed, where are we growing, how do we add more classes, how do we add other things, it's easy to get caught in the weeds of, oh my God, I don't know which kind of podcast platform to get onto. And I don't know, you know, I don't know how to do the video editing, and how do I find somebody on Fiverr? And the reality is there's something there for me to sacrifice so that I can actually make these things better in our company. And when you are looking to, you know, and it's easy to get caught in perfectionism or some level of detail in order to produce something in order to produce that thing that you think is most important, but it actually doesn't further your business. There's a lot of people who want to work with you, who want to play with you, who want you to bring your skills and talents. And are they the things that you want to do, right? So you may have to sacrifice going where people want you if it doesn't serve where you're headed. It's very easy to get busy doing things that aren't important for your future goals. It's not that they're not important, but they're not important for your future goals. So you have to start to evaluate your list of activities and make a decision about which of these activities is really crucial for moving forward your company or moving forward your personal goal and agenda. If you are going to leave the company that you're at now, you really want to think about that. You want to think about, what are the things that I want to be working on in my new company, in the new company, whether it's yours or someone else's. Because when you start something new, you have to let go of your old ways of operating. If let's say you're going to go work for a brand new company, right? And they're going to be paying you a whole bunch of money and it's a job that you've never done before. You have to let go of some of the ways you have operated over the past 2 years in order to be successful. Now, every person, it's going to be different. But if you were the one who was always taking the kids to school and bringing them home and helping them with their homework and doing all the grocery shopping, and now you're expected to be at work 8 or 10 hours a day and the productivity levels are high and your learning curve is going to be like this, you've got to find a way to let go of, to sacrifice some of the activities that you have come to know, they're easy to do and you love doing them, but they're not in service of this next goal that you have. Now, the other piece is when you think about sacrifice, it'll tie back to the law of increase and the law of non-resistance, and it ties back to all of them. Is you really need a sense of discipline. And when you are learning something new or when you are building a new company, you need a new level of self-discipline. I mean, think about it in terms of working out. Let's say you decide you want to run a marathon or you want to swim, do a triathlon. Normally, you don't just show up. You have to get some discipline around the running or around the swimming or around the biking if it's a triathlon. Definitely you have to get the discipline around the running if it's going to be a marathon, or you're going to hurt yourself, or you're just not going to do it. You're going to quit. You're going to give up. And part of the law of sacrifice is giving yourself an order, right? Giving yourself an order and having the discipline to follow through. I will work out. I will run. I will do X, Y, or Z in order to be successful. And quite often when we're starting new businesses, we don't always know what to do. And it's easier to kind of put your head down and hope that the universe will show you some way forward, or you wait for a client who starts to become insistent because you don't quite know how to tackle something, or you need to create a new class or learn some new technology. And gosh, just scares you to death to think about how to do it, or you get overwhelmed. My thing is I get overwhelmed sometimes. Where do I start? And so the law of sacrifice is also about giving yourself an order. Dawn, today you're going to go and learn this part of it. Today, you're going to call these 3 people. Today, you're going to design this part of the course. You have to be able to give yourself an order. And I mean it, you have to give yourself an order. Now, a lot of folks are going to go or want to leave their jobs to create a new lifestyle business. Well, I got to tell you, this is the most important law. It really is. The lifestyle business where you can be home for your family is great, but it won't produce revenue. It won't produce income. Clients don't just magically show up for most of us. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones, I don't know. But people don't just magically show up. And you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to sacrifice all the fun stuff, being able to hang out with the kids or take the dog for a walk just when you feel like it. You're going to have to give yourself an order. I am going to be at my desk by a certain time. I'm going to accomplish these things, whatever it looks like for you. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. This is the hardest law for me. Everyone has their hard law, but this is the hardest law for me. It's the consistently giving myself an order and making sure I follow through. So you may have to create some incentives, but quite often it's when you're not following through, it often means that there's not a future that you're living into. There's not a big dream or a big goal that you're living into. There's not something that's almost like calling you to get out of bed in the morning, right? What calls you to get out of bed? What calls you to get out of bed and do the work and to follow the order? That's so important. I know with my health, it's been very important for me. I didn't have my daughter till I was just getting ready to turn 40. And I thought, oh my God, she's going to be graduating from college when I'm 60. And if she waits to get married till she's like late 20s, 30s, having kids, I'll be 70 or 80 by the time a grandkid rolls around. Now, not that I'm encouraging her to get married and not that I'm encouraging a grandkid, but I started to do the math. And I thought, oh my God, I got to live way longer than my parents. My parents died at 67. A lot of people, die younger than 65-ish or 70. And I thought, I got to have a body and a brain that works for at least another 50 or 60 years. So that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. That's what gets me moving. That's the kind of thing that it's a bigger future than what I'm interested in just when the alarm clock goes off and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like getting out of bed today. I have to give myself an order. It's a future I'm living into. So when you go to look at the next job, or a business that you want to create or something of that nature, then you want to have a future that's big enough that excites you, something that you really want to get out of bed in the morning. And then you've got to figure out, what do you have to give up in order to have that? Or what do you have to postpone in order to have that? And then what do you have to tell yourself, like a rule, to make it happen? Because it doesn't happen just by magic or just by dreaming. You really do need to take action. And a lot of the action you're just not going to know how to take. And that's where Liz and I come in. Liz and I really support you in creating the vision that's really important for you, that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning. We help you figure out what's enough, how much money do you need, how much time do you need, what are the kinds of resources that you need, and then you create the strategic plan to get it done. And we have a couple of different ways that you can do that. We have a program called your Money Master Plan Mastermind, which is an online do-it-yourself program with videos and workbooks, and then a weekly community series, which is really one of our most popular programs. But we encourage you to go onto our website, take a look. You can set up a time to talk with me about what's your dream, or why you're having trouble getting out of bed or doing the things that you need to do. I'm happy to chat with you about that, and I'll put the link to my scheduler in the chat. And then you can also take our money personality quiz, because one of the things that we've learned is that how you do money is how you do everything. So, for example, I'm a maverick. and I'm a celebrity, and I'm a ruler, which means I'm Maverick likes to take big risks. I don't worry so much about the money, but I love complexity and I love intricate things. But as a ruler, I like to look over all of the world, right? All of my world, and make sure everybody's taken care of and moving forward. So they're about me, right? I know that this is about me, that I like to be the center of things. A celebrity, right? Celebrity's got to be the center of attention. So I know these things about me, and I can see how those things play out in how I make my plans, and how I build my dreams, and how I get teams built around me. It's very different than folks who are nurturers, who like to take care of everyone like a mom would, or a connector who has to take care of relationships all the time. They're very different ways of approaching life. So if you're struggling or think you might struggle when you go to launch your new business, or when you want to go to another company, talk to us first. Let us help you think through that process so that when you make the jump, you are ready, you know what you're getting into, and you've got the future and the ability to give yourself an order, and you know that you'll follow through. Meanwhile, I hope you all have a great weekend. For those of you who are watching it now, thank you for being here. And for those of you who see it in the future, please leave comments. We really appreciate all the comments that you might have.